Hey there, guys. How's it going? Tails first here with a little project that I'm coming up with here, and I thought I'd take you guys along for the ride. So I got this thing right here. It's a Makita 18 volt coffee maker. I've been using for my streams and stuff like that, so that I can bring the solar up here and make coffee via solar via these batteries here that I charge off of the solar. Um, and well, yeah, but I have a lot more of these, which are Ryobi batteries, than I do these, which because I only got this one, and that's good for like maybe two or three cups of coffee there, and this one's only really good for one, even though it says 4 amp hour. It's definitely not that. This is one of those cheapies. This one was a little bit more expensive. If you guys are looking for a good aftermarket battery, these guys are pretty good. These Whately people. This one is definitely way better. It's just a little bit more capacity, but this one runs circles around this Vanon one here. Anyway, so I want to make a Ryobi one, and I think I have an idea. So I did it. Here we have a cord, one of those old Ryobi NiCad flashlight thingies, doobly-doos, and then here we have I believe to be a trucker's coffee maker, which you plug into your cigarette lighter socket usually. But those cigarette lighter sockets can be anywhere from 12 to 24 volts. And I'm assuming the 20-ish volts that could come out of those over there won't really bother this too much, because it can have anywhere from like 26 when a truck is fully charged and everything like that. So I think this should work. And the only way to find out is to plug it in. But before we do that, I think I'm going to just quickly open this up, because everyone is most likely going to ask me, how did you wire it up? So let me just open this. I took out all of the innards out of it, so it's got no switch or anything like that anymore. It's directly got the cord that it came with. It's in there. All right, so I have my plus and minuses are in there. I actually think they're flippity-flopped backwards, but to be honest, it's a heating element and a light. There's no reason that this shouldn't work, whether or not it's plugged in backwards or forwards. It's not going to matter. But that's how it's wired. It's literally just wired with little connectors there to focus. Come on, there we go. To that. So yeah, just plug in a battery and there you go. Now, one thing I probably won't do is use that style of battery. This is a single, I don't know what they call it, but it's only one bank of batteries on the inside of there. I'm going to use one of my big batteries, my 4 amp hour batteries, instead of this thing, because this thing is probably going to die. I'm going to probably kill this if I try and run this, because this is, I think, 250 watts. And I'm pretty sure that's not designed to handle that much energy all at the same time. It'll probably either go into thermal throttle or just outright break the battery. So I'm not going to do that. Not thermal throttle. What do they call it? Thermal protect mode. It'll just shut off and not work. It might work for a little bit, but it's not going to actually make a cup of coffee, So let me get this all put together. I'm going to put all the screws in. We're going to get a battery, and we're going to see if she chooches. AAVE, you're cool. All right, so I got her put together, put a little strain relief in there so that, the wire isn't going to just dangle around or anything like that and get pulled out of those sockets and short circuit or anything like that. So we're good there. Got our coffee maker, and we also got our battery. Another thing that I have to mention, one of the reasons why I choose to use Ryobi batteries all the time is because all of the protection, short circuit protection, overheat protection, and all that stuff, it's all built into this thing. That's why I don't use Makita batteries or anything like that, because if I were to use them and they were to get hot and I just happen to not notice, or any other battery that I know of so far, there's nothing to shut it off. I think the batteries don't just have a direct connection to these terminals up here. They actually go through, I forget what they're called, but they can switch off the power if it overloads, so that it saves the battery from basically going thermonuclear. That's why I use these for my projects, because I feel that they're safer. So that's why I use these. Anyway, I'm going to plug this thing in now and make sure it's turned off. And there she goes. Is it proper charged? She's proper charged. I like it. All right. Let's get some water into this thing and we can start making some coffee. There we go. That ought to do it. I know you guys can't really see it, but I filled it up to the 1 cup line there. I don't want to do 2 cups. I'm not going crazy today. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and turn it on and see what happens. Contact! Really take it. I've been watching way too much AVE recently. By the way, if you guys haven't seen that guy, AVE, check him out. If you like this kind of stuff where you do experiments and put tools apart and all that stuff, AVE, definitely check him out. Really popular, not really popular, but I mean, decently popular dude. If you don't know him, you definitely should. Oh boy. Just make out the water getting through that tube. She's working. Now, to be honest, I actually expected that light to burn out, but again, this is also made for 24-volt systems. This is a incandescent light here, definitely, it looks like right here. The cord is getting somewhat hot, but I remember people doing reviews. It's not hot. It's definitely warming up, though. Definitely warming up. Oh, yeah, it worked. And guess what? It only took half the battery to do it. But it worked. The wire got a little warm, but not alarmingly so. The contacts on the inside, I took this apart and made sure the contacts didn't get too warm in there, and it's all good. So I consider that a success. Oh, baby. Yep, so it's the next day now. Turn that off. And I just fully charged that battery, right? And I made a whole 2 cups. I don't know if you can even see that, but I made a whole 2 cups into this here cup here. So let's see how that came out. Oh, there's coffee in there. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, that's some dark stuff. So I guess now we're down to the taste test. I'm sure it'll be fine. Woohoo! Wow, that's pretty strong. So for those who might be curious, after brewing 2 cups of coffee, the battery is a little warm, for sure, but it did not go into thermal shutdown or anything like that. We are from a full battery of 4 bars down to 1 bar. So I'd probably say the other coffee maker that I have can make 3 cups of coffee. They're small cups of coffee, like 6-ounce cups instead of 8-ounce. But I mean, this one did a full proper cup of coffee here, as you can see. Like, that's a lot more coffee than this, because this is what the Makita will make, and it'll only make 1 of these at a time, whereas this Ryobi one I've made here will make 1 of these. Now and to the camera that doesn't look a lot bigger, but that's about a 16-ounce cup there. This is about a 6-ounce cup, so 10 ounces more. Oh yeah. All right. Also, for those interested, the parts that were used here. This is the connector. This is a P700 flashlight from Ryobi. I think you can find these for next to nothing on eBay nowadays. But I use that as the interface between the coffee maker and the battery. So there you go there. And then we've also got the wire. To be honest, I'd probably make this wire shorter because this wire does get a little toasty. But that might be in a future revision of this. And then the coffee maker is a Rode Pro. You can usually find these at like truck stops and stuff like that, or on eBay or Amazon or something like that. It works. It works. I don't know what else to say. It's got a little thing over here on the side to tell you how much water you're putting in there. To be honest, I'd probably do 1 cup at a time. I probably wouldn't do 2 again. It took about 10 minutes for it to brew that right there. So that's not exactly ideal. But it definitely brewed the 1 cup yesterday a lot faster. But when it came to doing this 2 cups of coffee, it took a lot longer. Like, I think it took 3 minutes to do the 1 cup yesterday, and then today it took 10 minutes to do the 2 cups. I don't know if it's because this pipe here goes through the cold water and then heats the cold water up, and then it makes it too hot, and then it shuts, because it was shutting down. This thing was shutting down the heating element,
periodically, and then kicking back on, making the rest of the coffee, shutting off, then coming back on, making more coffee, shutting off. So it was doing that on the second cup of coffee. The first cup it didn't do that, but then the second cup it started doing that. I think it's just because the hot water comes up right through the cold water, so it was heating that up. So that's my theory, but it was working. It worked. It did do the job. So yeah. Anyway, guys. Oh, by the way, this thing comes with a reusable filter, so which is pretty cool. All right, cool. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you got any comments or questions, I guess, about the whole setup, there's not a whole lot really going on here. It's just the battery literally being hooked up to a coffee maker. That's it. But if you got any questions or anything like that, let me know. Yeah, this is Tails First signing off. Have a wonderful day, everyone.